What is it that you guys would like to talk about today? What is it you guys want to do?
We're going to talk about the 12-bar blues form. And a form is just basically a series of chords in a specific order and a specific number of measures. So this one has 12 measures, as you can count on the board. This is weird to gesture to.
It's totally there in real life. We have a giant 5-foot poster of the 12-bar blues form for you.
Very nice. So it's 12 measures, as you can see. And there's 3 chords. In this case, we're going to do it in A, so it's going to be A, D, and E. And in blues, you usually do all dominant sevenths, which is just a type of chord, and it kind of gives it that bluesy, jazzy sound. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the Roman numerals and stuff, or do you want to just get into it?
Sure, yeah. So in this case, 1/7 is going to refer to A7, since we're doing a blues in A. For the 4 chord, we have D7, and the 5 chord is going to be E7. I'm going to demo these voicings in an open position, just to make things easier and more accessible. Oh, is the
here, yeah. I'm happy to be your cameraman.
Perfect.
Your camera Dan.
So I'm going to play this voicing of A7, and all of these chords are in the chord book in Rocksmith. So we have A7, that's going to be the 1 chord, the 1/7 chord. The 4/7 chord is going to be D7. And lastly, the 5/7 chord is going to be E7. So I'm just going to follow the 12-bar blues progression that we have behind us and play through the chords. I'll use basic strumming too, probably just eighth note strumming. And on top of that, Greg is going to play a little melody using the A minor pentatonic scale, which we're going to showcase.
Right, yeah, I can show that now. So we did this a couple weeks ago, and if you saw before we did Santeria, or right after we did Santeria, I kind of explained that again. It's the same basic shape, whether you're doing minor pentatonic or major pentatonic, but in this case, your first finger is going to start on the A. Can we get the close-up cam again?
Yeah, sure.
So it's going to start on the A, which is here. It's really important to learn the notes, at least on the lowest string, the 6th string, and the 5th string. And that kind of serves as a guide, I think, for most guitarists when we look at scales. At least I do when I look at positions. I always look at the lowest string and I say, okay, here's my A. Now I'm going to play A minor pentatonic from here. So again, that scale is first finger, pinky, first, third, first, third, first, third, first, pinky, first, pinky. So it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy scale, which is why it's used quite often in the guitar world. So if you just play this scale over those chords that Anthony is playing, it will sound pretty good, hopefully, so let's try it.
Yeah, definitely, and you can also focus on chord tones within that scale. So, for example, if I'm vamping on an A7 chord, yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, hitting that A or the G, in this case the flat 7, would sound really good. And you could do the same for the D7 chord, exactly. Yeah. And even E7.
So yeah, let's try it. And I'm just going to improvise melodies based on that scale, basically. Any note you play in that scale will sound relatively good.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I'll count
Take it away.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. follows one full cycle of that progression.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
And
outline the chords. And
this is a form that's used by a lot of rock songs, a lot of country songs, a lot of blues songs. We call them the 12-bar blues because that's where it comes from.
Absolutely.
But if you want to jam with other friends, if you want to just get together, this is one of the easiest things to do. Is just, you know, the soloists work on the scale and the rhythm guys hold down that chord progression, and it's a great way to start learning to interact with other musicians.
Right. And it's worth noting that every musician ever, even if they're not a blues musician or a jazz musician, they will know this form. I think even classical dudes probably can hack their way through the blues.
Oh, yeah.
Even Yngwie Malmsteen does blues.
That is true.
It's great for jamming. It's great for learning how to improvise. You know, and if you're jamming with a group of people, you can take turns playing rhythm and lead.
Yeah. And a couple of examples of blues songs that we already have in the game. The Sky is Crying is one of them.
By Albert King, right?
Albert King. Spider and the Fly, the Rolling Stones song, is also a blues. There's also a thing called a minor blues, which is this exact form, but instead of playing seventh chords, you play minor chords. So it would be A minor, D minor, and then E minor, basically. And The Thrill Is Gone is a minor blues by B.B. King. So check out those. The other thing that's cool to do is you can go into session mode. Under form, choose 12-bar blues, and then under key, choose A. And it'll play this exact form that we're playing right now, and you can just jam along with the A minor pentatonic scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you can play the chords over it. Should work pretty well. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.